Hey everyone, okay, so today, mental hair. So today I am going to be talking you through the best setting powders for under eye. So to conceal, you've done your concealing, now you want to set it so that it doesn't move all day long. Now there are many different powders on the market, but I tend to stick with the same ones because I know that they're going to produce the best results. I like to try new products, but when a product, one that I've been using for so long, really works, I'm happy to try something else, but it's unlikely it's going to stick around for me because I know what I like. So what I'm going to do is talk to you about light to medium skin tones and then medium and then deep skin tones. For light skin tones, this would be really light skin tones all the way up to a really good medium, deeper than I am. I would use a pink setting powder underneath the eyes. Now, YSL do a really good one. Makeup Forever do an amazing one because you get so much product. Bobbi Brown do great ones. So I think that pink underneath the eye sets it really well and gives a brightening effect that doesn't flash back in camera, which is really good. Now for those of you with medium tan to sort of Mediterranean skin tones, what I tend to do, because it's quite hard to find one that has a kind of pink and beige undertone, so I tend to mix a beige powder with a pink powder to create that kind of base. That tends to work really well. Also, Ben Nye Banana powder for Mediterranean and slightly darker skin tones works really well because that gives a brightening effect. I would never use banana powder on light skin tones. My skin tone, lighter than this, it's just too yellow. It doesn't work very well on light skin tones. When you're moving into the deeper skin tones, it's even more hard to find a setting powder because what we want to do is brighten under the eyes, not lighten. We want to create brightness. Bobbi Brown do an amazing one, which is like a burnt orange. That works really well on deeper skin tones. For those of you who are in the deeper spectrum of skin tones, you're going to need to basically mix a basic brown with a burnt orange to correct and give that real brightening effect. It's unlikely you're going to find, I haven't found one yet that will work the same way. I tend to need to mix. Unfortunately, unless you're in the light to medium category where you can just say a basic pink works really well, otherwise we are tending to have to mix. I only use loose powders under the eyes for concealer, unless I'm doing the most basic of makeups, which is really rare because I have a very specific path that I follow, and I posted a routine of it on Facebook, so you can check that out if you want. So I only use loose powders, but if I'm doing the most basic of makeups, I will use a pressed powder. Charlotte Tilbury's pressed powder is amazing because it has more emollients in it, so it doesn't look really dry and cakey under the eyes, which is amazing because nobody wants that. But otherwise, I stick to loose powders because I can set them immediately and then dust them off immediately. I don't wait. I get it on, I knock it straight off again. And if you're wondering, well, what about the sandbagging technique and what about the baking technique? All of these things that I mentioned are techniques and they're all worthwhile and amazing, but it doesn't mean that any one is better than the other. I just prefer to set it and knock it straight off because I don't want it hanging around underneath the eye. Unless you're 12, I prefer to get it on, get it off, so to speak. So there you go. But the powders that I mentioned are all in that description bar below, so you can check them out. Let me know what you think on setting concealer. Again, for me, loose powder is an absolute must by the way that I work because I need it. So let's just recap. Pink for light to medium skin tones. Medium to Mediterranean, I tend to mix pink with a beige loose powder. And for deeper skin tones, burnt orange, and the deepest, a basic brown with a burnt orange mixed in. RCMA no colour powder can be used underneath the eyes, but because I use quite a lot of it, I tend to just prefer to use that for foundation and setting the face as opposed to under the eye, because when you're packing it on like that, it can leave a tiny amount of colour behind, and that is absolutely fine for really light skin tones, but for deeper skin tones, it's not ideal. So those kind of powder combinations tend to work best. Information right down there, along with where the comments, where you mention stuff. I read it and I go, oh, that's nice, what? Stuff like that. See you all soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.